Have you ever been with someone and that person cheated on you and then you found out objective proof that that person was cheating on you? Sucks, doesn't it? You might be thinking that's a weird way to start a card game video, Mario. Like what are you thinking? Believe me, there's a point. There's a point.
Okay.
You're going about your business, you're having a good relationship, you're thinking everything is nice and you're enjoying yourself. And then the other person is screwing the other guy. And it sucks when you find out. Why is that person screwing the other guy? Or a girl? It can go both ways. It's because they're looking for a winning outcome that they don't believe they can find just with you. You're not filling their void. Giggity. So they need someone else to help fill the void in the areas that you are not able to fill them in. And that's how cheating happens and other things like theft. Stuff like that. Anyway, if you think that cheating on your partner is terrible, wanna know something worse? Cheating at a children's trading card game. That's right. We've entered a phase in our life where cheating in children's card games is problematic, to say the least. It's quite common. This is thanks to the advent of remote duels and unregulated events and all sorts of interesting different factors that didn't quite exist before COVID happened. Now, let's be clear. Cheating has existed since the dawn of card games. People have been cheating at Magic, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, all of them, I'm sure. And they've been caught on camera, and there's YouTube channel after YouTube channel discussing all of it. All the most infamous cheaters and all of that. It's stuff that you can do in real life. However, it's been made a lot easier because of remote duels. What are some of those things, you might ask? Well, I'm glad you asked. You can have a pile of cards beside you. You can have your hand off of the screen. You can draw extra cards. You can stack your deck a lot easier because people are only telling you to cut the deck, not really, shuffle. Yeah. It's easier in an IRL event because there's judges wandering around, and if you see anything suspicious, immediately you can call a judge. And it's easier to point out that stuff IRL unless you're a pro cheater, we'll call them. Pro cheaters. But over webcam, it's a lot more difficult because all you can see is what the webcam is showing, and you can't see anything else. You can't see anything else. Sometimes if someone's really bad at it, maybe you sneak a peek at them shuffling their deck. This is weird with hand moments. Hold on. This is why we have props. If someone is shuffling, maybe if they're doing it poorly and they're trying to stack their deck, maybe you can kind of see them, They're leaning the deck a little bit this way, and you can kind of see, sneaking a peek here, and maybe they find something they like. I'll get to a card I like eventually, don't worry. Oh, look at that! Ooh, an Omnimon Zwart that I can just barely see out of my eye. Oh, well, okay, well, I guess I'll stop the riffle shuffle down one here, and I'll just do a little bit of this. Wow! And then maybe I'll do it like this, so that I can, when the opponent tells me to cut my deck in half, I cut it in half or something like that. Okay, cool. And I lay out my security, and then I draw 5 cards. Is there an Omnimon here somewhere? How did I fuck that up? Oh, man. Okay, so there are some people that are better than this than others, apparently. So yeah, there are certain things like that. Maybe you can catch if the person is trying to be an inexperienced shadester, you know what I mean? Some Bandit Keith-like stuff, pulling cards out of their wristbands. Again, easier to see in person than over a webcam, but whatever. Anyway, it's fair to assume that this has gotten to such a level that other content creators are starting to go on and, nail them and get them and be the J. Jonah Jameson to Spider-Man. And honestly, I don't blame them because cheating sucks. You don't want to be cheated on. I don't think anyone's going into a relationship and saying, oh man, I cannot wait till she cheats on me. It's so exciting. I'm hyped. No one is ever doing that. Also, no one should ever be doing that while playing card games, or any games of that general. The same goes for card games like Digimon. No one wants to play Digimon, and no one is looking forward to being cheated. It's just not a thing. Now, I'm not going to, in this video, lay out all the people that are known cheaters, because, we're not here to point out names or anything. There's lots of that, on Twitch and on YouTube. It exists. I don't need to be the one to do that. However, what I can do is give you a few ideas on how you can maybe prevent cheating on your side. If you see something sus, first thing you can do is have your opponent cut the deck in a weird way. Not just half. Not half. Something a little more random than half. You know what I mean? Do that, start. Second of all, make sure that their hand is on the screen at all times. Or you know what? I'm okay with like a little twitch or a movement. Sometimes you move the hand back for a second or two. You're moving around, you have a involuntarily body response, a subconscious thing. That's okay. But keeping your hand off the camera for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds, no, there's none of that. A third thing you can do, and this might be a little more big brain, but always keep track of the cards your opponent should have in hand, right? Every time your opponent evolves a card, they should draw a card. Essentially, it should replace itself. And there's other, different ways of drawing cards. They lose cards for playing cards, whatever. Keep a tally on how many cards they should have in their hand. And if they're being sus, ask them, how many cards do you have in hand? If they give you a number other than what they should be, ask them, how's that possible? Because they did this, 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 and this. Oh, my background's gone. Shit. Freaking computers. Seriously though, that's just the tip of the iceberg, guys. There's other things you can do, a little more big brain than even that, to keep in mind to keep yourself from being cheated. This is just the intro. This is just the taste, the appetizer. Appetizers are pretty freaking delicious. Deep fried pickles are pretty good, guys. Come on. That's really all I have for this week's episode of Bad News. It sucks. It exists. We can't ignore it. People are still going to do it, especially in remote duel land. People just want to win, and it is technically easier to win if you cheat. And that's just kind of reality right now. But just make sure you aren't turning into the other guy. Make sure if you see anything sus, just get a judge. You can do that. They have judge channels in all these tournaments. You can call a judge if you think something is going on. It's a little harder to prove, but at least you're acknowledging it. You're pointing it out. At worst, nothing happens. But at best, maybe something gets caught, and maybe there's one less scummy person around. Maybe. I guess on an indirect aside, a little bit of a problem where Bandai won't really ban players unless it's in their own tournaments. So anything that happens at like a PPG or something doesn't cross over, even though it probably should. But Bandai technically doesn't have any jurisdiction, so that's kind of unfortunate. All we can do is really just be careful, be vigilant, and that's it. I guess in summary, I think it's pretty obvious to tell if someone's being shady or not. If you're doing like an involuntary twitch and your hand goes off camera for a second, if you flip over some cards by accident and reshuffle your deck, I don't think you're doing anything shady in that regard. But if you have your hand off camera for multiple moments at a time, like multiple seconds, if you're drawing extra cards, if the hand is never emptying, stuff like that, you might want to look into, potential cheats or chats. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Have you ever been cheated before? Did you ever catch a cheater before? What do you think about this whole thing? Just let me know. It's all interesting content. I love reading that stuff from you guys. And hopefully we can move into a world where everyone is a little more on red alert for this kind of stuff, and maybe for the rest of the webcam game sensation we're in right now because of COVID, it'll be a little more fair. That's it, guys. That's all I got. We will see you next time. Take care.